Let's talk about Roblox right now, where a bizarre new genre has rapidly taken over. Simple gameplay, internet culture, and mind-boggling numbers have made this story truly wild. Consider this. 3 million people played Escape Tsunami for brainrots at the same time. That's more than the all-time peak for Blox Fruits, one of Roblox's biggest games ever. So what on earth is this game that's pulling in these just astronomical numbers? Well, here's the thing. If you ask a lot of people in the Roblox community, they'll tell you it's garbage. This comment from a user on Reddit really captures this feeling of just widespread confusion and, honestly, frustration. How can something that people are calling cheap and mediocre be one of the most successful games on the entire platform? And that right there is the central mystery we're looking at today. It's like a new king has just been crowned on Roblox. And it's a king that a lot of the veteran players and developers don't respect, and they really don't understand it. They see this low-effort design, but they absolutely cannot deny its massive success. So obviously there has to be a reason, right? There's something going on here. Beneath the kind of janky surface of these games, there is a seriously powerful formula at work. A blueprint for going viral that has spawned this entire genre of copycat clones. So today, we are going to reverse engineer that formula. Okay, so let's pop the hood on these games. We're going to break them down to their absolute core components. We're talking game design, document level stuff to see exactly what makes them tick. What is the engine that's driving this whole phenomenon? At its heart, the Escape X genre isn't really just one thing. It's a hybrid, it's a mashup. It cleverly blends together three ideas that are already proven to work. You've got the constant nail-biting tension of an arcade survival game, the super satisfying progression of a collection tycoon, and then the simple A to B movement challenge of a nobby. It's a really potent combination, and the core of it all, the thing that gets you hooked, is this incredibly simple three-step loop that you can just repeat over and over. It's so easy to understand, and it is very addictive. It all boils down to these three phases: the running collection, the threat invasion, and then the deposit and upgrade. Let's look at each one. So it all starts with the run. You spawn in a safe little base area and you just sprint down this long straight path. Along the way, you're grabbing these collectibles, which are usually themed around internet memes, and they're called brainrots. And the basic rule is super simple. The farther you get from that safe base, the more valuable the stuff you can pick up becomes. Classic risk versus reward. But here's the catch. You can't just run forever. About every 30 seconds or so, this giant threat, it's usually a huge tsunami or a giant wall. It spawns at the very end of the map and just comes rushing right towards you. If that thing touches you, you lose every single item you've collected and you get teleported all the way back to the start. Your only chance is to dive into these little safe zones that are carved into the walls along the path. Now, if you manage to make it back to the base with your haul, you deposit your brainrots. And here's the tycoon twist that makes it so addictive. You don't just sell them for a one-time cash payment. Nope, every single item you deposit adds to your passive income, meaning it generates money for you every second, forever. And what do you spend that money on? Well, this is the crucial part. The entire game, the whole economy, it really just revolves around two and only two upgrades: walk speed and carry capacity. More speed lets you run to the rare items and, outrun the wave. More capacity just means you can carry more stuff back each time. Every single part of this game is designed to make those two numbers go up. That's it. But the formula isn't just about the mechanics, it's also about the vibe, the theme. Why do these games look so chaotic, so kind of cheap, so full of clashing memes and sounds? Well, as it turns out, that is not an accident at all. It is a very deliberate choice. This whole aesthetic has a name, brainrots, and it's basically a direct appeal to players who are totally fluent in internet culture. It uses viral content, memes, sounds, and jokes to create an experience that feels instantly familiar, funny and chaotic, perfectly designed to be clipped and shared on platforms like TikTok and YouTube. So let's break down how they build this look, right? You've got mismatched assets that don't belong together, flat 2D images slapped onto things instead of actual 3D models, and super bright, garish colors. And the sound. every single time you pick something up, it blasts a loud, recognizable sound from a meme, like the Vine boom. This low-effort look isn't a mistake. It's a core feature that makes these games instantly recognizable and, importantly, really easy for other developers to copy. But of course, whenever you have this kind of explosive growth, it comes with intense scrutiny. The community is super divided on this, and a lot of people are starting to ask, are these massive player numbers even real? And this user's comment really gets to the heart of a major accusation being leveled at this whole genre, that player counts are being artificially inflated by bots. The numbers just seem so impossibly high for such a simple game that a lot of people think there's no way this is organic. So you've got this great debate happening. On one side, you have critics who see these low-effort, repetitive games maybe propped up by bots, flooding the platform with unoriginal clones, but on the other side you have millions of actual players logging in, because for them, the simple loop is genuinely fun. The progression feels really satisfying, and that connection to meme culture is just highly entertaining. So what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean? Well, whether the numbers are 100% real or not, this whole trend reveals something really crucial about what works on Roblox right now. This formula is a developer's dream come true. The core gameplay is so simple that it can be copied and reskinned with the new theme in no time, whether you want to make it about anime or pets or whatever the next wave of internet memes is. It's a repeatable blueprint for building a potentially viral, highly monetizable game quickly. And the real secret to keeping people playing for weeks and months isn't just a core loop, it's the rebirth system. See, once your speed gets high enough, you can choose to reset it all the way back to zero. Why would you do that? Because in exchange, you get a permanent multiplier on all the income you make from that on. This creates an endless cycle of progression, an endless grind that makes your players always have a new goal to chase. Which really brings us to our final question. We are watching a highly efficient, highly repeatable, and culturally in-tune formula completely dominate the charts. So is this the future? Is this a new, sustainable model for lean, viral game development? Or is it just the latest trend, a brain rot obsession that's going to fade away just as quickly as it appeared? The answer to that will probably shape the Roblox platform for years to come.